G'day, I'm Paul. It's time for another detailed infotainment review. This time it is Porsche and the new PCM, Porsche Communication Management. It's their name for the infotainment system. Today I'm going to take you through a very detailed review of the screen, plus some other functions you'll find across a number of Porsche products. If you haven't done so already, check out our playlist above there that will show you other infotainment reviews we've done. And also check out the rest of our channel for other detailed car reviews as well. Porsche. A lot of people think of that as a car company that isn't really big on technology, especially infotainment. If you look at the previous generations of PCM, they've been a bit old and dated and haven't really worked that well, but they're now completely changing the game when it comes to technology. So we're going to split this up into three sections. The first, we're going to talk about the main infotainment screen. Then we're going to talk about Porsche Connect, which is the new application that communicates with the car remotely. And finally, we'll talk about the screens here in front of the driver as well. So let's kick things off over here with the central infotainment system. The screen is a high definition screen, 12.3 inches wide. It is a ripper of a screen because as you approach it, you get extra context menus, and you'll notice those when you go through the nav, but it also just displays everything in a fairly logical fashion. Everything's easy to find, and then you have lots of detail within sub menus as well. So to make things easy, I'm going to go through each of the menus to walk you through the system and then give you the highlights as well. So this is the home screen. This is what it's presented like. You can customize this, move things around if you need to, but all of your critical functions are here. We'll go into the nav menu first. You click nav on the side here and it presents you with options for the map, destination and favorites. This is a very fast system. It moves around very easily and it's easy to navigate around the screen and then to center back on the car. In terms of entering a destination, it's all done here on the screen. You simply click on destination and then you have a number of options here in terms of points of interest, recent destinations, and also manually putting in destinations. So let's try Melbourne Airport here. That's my go-to for checking if this stuff works. There it is here. So you see a bunch of different options there in terms of suburbs and then points of interest such as the airport as well. And then it's also able to search online as well. With that Porsche Connect system, there's a SIM card built into the car, and then it's able to query the likes of Google to see which other locations are nearby that have similar starting names to what you've just started typing in. Now I'll show you here as well what it looks like when the context menu comes up as your finger approaches. So here is my finger approaching and you can see all of the menus start appearing. So it gives you a bigger look on the screen when you're not interacting with it, but when you need extra context items, they simply appear when your finger gets near the screen. So that's a great setup. This is cool because not only does this car do AM, FM, DAB plus digital radio, with a Porsche Connect setup, it will stream online radio stations. So this is the only car that I've really found that's similar to my Tesla, for example, that allows you to just search for any radio station around the world, including Spotify and stuff like that. So that's all built into this system. And it's all fairly quick as well, depending on which brand of SIM card you go with and which operator you run with. You have internal storage and then connectivity throughout the car as via USB-C. So you can stream through your phone when it's connected remotely, or you can simply hook up a USB device and then connect with USB-C. Let's have a look at the phone menu. So the good thing here is that Apple CarPlay is included, but on top of that, it's wireless Apple CarPlay, so you never have to plug anything up. It is disappointing though that Porsche doesn't offer Android Auto. I think it's coming, but not available yet. The other disappointing part about this system is you don't have widescreen. So you simply get a screen here that kind of looks out of place because it's not a widescreen setup. So it doesn't really look right in there. Then as we go through the rest of the menus, you can change all of your assist functions. The good thing here is that everything is displayed in here through assist functions and also the camera. So if I enable this, this is a really high quality surround view camera. So it uses those front and rear parking sensors, plus also the surround view, which is cameras on the front, the sides and the rear. Then if you give it one more push, it like morphs into another widescreen angle. And then check this out as well. Hit that button and it cleans the camera at the back. How cool is that? The sound menu allows you to adjust the sound stage in the car, so adjusting your tone, where your speakers are playing music. It's all pretty basic stuff. As you step up through the Cayenne range, you're getting higher end sound systems available, so you will get more immersive sound, but this is just the base sound system here, which is a 10 speaker unit. Devices, this is where you connect your phone and also get your data connection set up as well. So you can see within the car at the moment we have a SIM card for data and also my phone connected for Apple CarPlay and also making phone calls. Over in the climate menu, this is where you can set up your air distribution. You can also configure if air comes out of these vents up here, how hard and intense the air coming out is, and whether you want your air conditioning in eco mode to save fuel. So there is a high level of customizability here, which is great. In the apps menu, this is where all your Porsche Connect functions live. You can select everything from Amazon Music through to Google search, finding nearest restaurants. This is how the car interacts with the cloud to find information that is going to be useful to the driver. Then if we scroll down to the set menu, this is where you configure all the functions of the car. There's actually a lot of stuff in here that you're able to change, everything from the configuration of the Sport Chrono system. So that's the clock up the top there. This allows you to time lapse and just, I don't know, I just reckon it looks cool. You've got to get the Sport Chrono package when you get a Porsche because it's just a work of art. The car menu is where you're going to be able to activate things like the exhaust. This car has the optional exhaust system, so one push of that opens the valves. This is where you can manually open the spoiler. So if you want to be in Porsche driver mode, also described as another word that starts with a W. You can activate the spoiler when the car doesn't need it if you so desire. You can also switch the stop-start system off, set the chassis mode, so this is the suspension firmness, and finally set the drive modes as well. There's actually an off-road menu too. This gives you an idea of just how capable this car is off-road. I love the highlights here. It shows you that our centre and rear differentials are unlocked at the moment, but as you progress through the menus, it will start gradually locking those differentials to make this car quite capable off-road. Now, the other great thing here as well is you're able to set the LED interior lighting color. So currently it's lemon green, which sounds a bit gross. So if we jump over to topaz blue, it'll highlight everything in the car in that color. You can change the intensity as well, and then you can pick whichever color you want it to be, and then change the intensity around the cabin too. So yeah, it's a really great setup, and I love what Porsche has done with this system. The final bit I'll mention here is that you can also enable Wi-Fi. So my phone is currently paired to the car over Wi-Fi. Means the car has a bigger antenna, it has better strength, so you're able to pair and then share the devices around the car. If you've got kids in the back there, they can all connect to it and not use any of their own data. Let's talk Porsche Connect. This is the application that allows you to remotely connect to the car. This is one of the better ones. I've tested a lot of these applications, but this one actually is quite smart in the way that it works. So when you crack it open, it shows you your car. Here it is, Cayenne Coupe, same color and spec that we're driving as well, which is great. And then you can flick through to the different sides of the car and it will tell you which doors are open. So currently we have the passenger door open, it tells you if the park brake's on, and then also whether the car's locked or unlocked. You can then send remote commands to the car. So I can flash the lights, I can remotely lock or unlock the car, and then I can also remotely sound the horn as well. This menu up the top here tells you whether it's kind of like the circle of trust. It's complete because we have access to the Porsche server, the mobile device, and the wireless LAN that is inside the car. So that all goes green when it's happy. As you scroll down, you can see the range left in the car, some of your trip data as well, mileage, service intervals, oil level, very handy to know, and tire pressures only when the car's going, plus alarms. I like this because you can set special alarms here like a valet alarm. So if you're dropping your car off at the hotel or something like that, and you want to make sure they don't go do burnouts in your new 911, you can just set the valet alarm and it will keep you informed of what they're doing and also restrict some movement for the car. You can set a speed alarm if you've given it to the kids. You want to make sure they're not going too fast. And also you can then geo-fence the car as well, so it will alarm when the car leaves that area. And then if you jump over to the Explore menu, it tells you exactly where the car's located. Useful if you're in a big parking lot and you cannot find the thing. Finally, let's have a look over here at the screen, or the screens in front of the driver. This is what you're going to be looking at when you're driving, and there's some interesting information on display here as well. We'll kick off with the screen on the right-hand side. You scroll through the menus available using the steering wheel. The first one you have there is the temperature of the car, the oil temperature, battery voltage, all very useful information. And next along is the trip computer. I like this display because that's your navigation. So that's a really handy screen to have available to you, so you're not taking your eyes off the road, but you still know where you need to turn off and critical sort of things that are popping up. Next up is the timer. So you can activate the Sport Chrono timer through the main infotainment screen or over here. You simply click start, clock starts, and then you can stop and reset that here as well. You're not going to be doing a whole lot of lap timing in this car, but it is useful to have. You go back one menu, jump down to the next one. The G bubble, you can see how many G's you're cracking, and then you can also see what the maximum is. There you go, 0.86 G's someone has done in this car, it wasn't me. Next and final one is where your torque is going. Is it going to the front of the car, the rear of the car? This is kind of like an on-demand all-wheel drive system, so it's always going to be doing one or the other, and then it shuffles between them as required in terms of where it needs extra traction. On the left-hand side is where you'll find the outside temperature, and then just three menus, which is your odometer with the trip function, You then have the speed limit if you have a speed limiter set up, and finally navigation. Now the interesting thing here is you can move through the different modes for the cruise control. You have normal cruise control, there's no radar cruise control on this car, which is disappointing. You have a hill descent control, and then finally you have a speed limiter function as well. So you move through all of those using this control down here on the steering wheel. Thank you for tuning in. Let me know in the comments below whether you think this is heading in the right direction for Porsche. What else would you like to see in this system? Have you used it? Do you like it? Let me know in the comments below. Also, if you found the video useful, please hit the like button. Also, don't forget to subscribe and also press the bell icon so you can see every single time we publish another infotainment review or a detailed car review.